Yo, what up? It's AaroniMoses. I forgot to tell you guys about two more techniques that I use. I actually have this full description of how to do it. It's called the Black Aura 2.0 on YouTube. If you go to Life is in the Breath, it teaches you how to shield with a technique that I got from Hotep of 13 Signs Astrology. Shout out to him. He's one of my mentors. But if you go look that up, you'll be able to find that fairly easily. It's called the Black Aura 2.0 on YouTube. But the second technique to shield yourself from energy vampires, to shield yourself from psychic attacks, is to have a trigger word. The trigger word might be happy, it might be free, it might be whatever you want. It could be a guy's name, anything that empowers you, makes you feel happy, makes you feel however you want to feel. Now, what you do is you repeat this word. I like to use the heart chakra. In the heart chakra, repeat it as loud as you can in your heart chakra. Now, when you are feeling like you're being psychically attacked, or you feel like you're being drained, or you feel like there's an energy vampire in your presence, I had to do this a lot when I was in chapel, when I stayed in the homeless shelter. Just build the energy up in your heart, surrounding your heart. It can be in any chakra. But what you want to do is make any kind of noise that you want. It could be a fake sneeze. It could be a loud cough. It can be anything that pushes the energy out. It can be tapping. You can tap with this energy going from your heart to your hand, going out. And this is supposed to keep all the negative energy out. Now, the cough to me is one of the more powerful methods. The cough pushes all the energy out into your aura. Now, the tapping brings a lot of attention to you. It feeds that vortex of your shield when you have your trigger word already programmed to, number one, protect you, number two, go into your aura and get the person's attention who is sending you this negative energy, because that is going to go into their subconscious mind. Love you too, Maria. That they need to stop it. The tapping is just as effective as the cough. I'll take that back. But the cough is more subtle. Nobody's going to think anything about that. But the tapping, anything rhythmic, while you have this energy flowing from your hand out, that is going to help you very significantly. So that is it. The two shielding techniques. Again, go to Life is in the Breath on YouTube and look for Black Aura 2.0. Very powerful. Because, I mean, you have to personalize it for yourself. The shield that I use is around my skin. It's like a liquid hematite. And then the breastplate, the gloves, and the boots, those are obsidian for me. Now, you might want to use a different stone. You might not want to use a stone at all. You might want to use a light or something like that. But those, I mean, that was given to me by Anubis to use specifically. Um, and again, it goes into using a different castle. If you want to use a castle to shield your heart, you can use a castle. You can use your own home. If that is what keeps you at peace and makes you feel the most protected, you can use pretty much anything. Pretty much anything. It's all up to the feeling and how you attach yourself to these different objects, to these different. More so, it should be a place. Like, to shield my throat chakra, I use a mountain. To shield my throat chakra, I use a mountain, and I think I go into this in that video. To shield my sixth chakra, I use the sky. To shield my solar plexus, of course, I just use the sun. To shield my sacral chakra, I use a party room. I use a ballroom where there's a lot of people dancing, and I visualize my sacral chakra is the lights for that party. And then for my root chakra, I use I use the basement in the house where I grew up in, because that was one of my favorite spots, and it was right under my bedroom, which it wasn't a coincidence, but the walls were painted red Okay, so again, personalize it for you. The crown, I just visualize a fountain of lights, a whole bunch of lights coming out, and that keeps me protected. And that's all the chakras. So yeah, be safe out there. Stay dangerous out there because there's a lot of people. There's a lot of cloud demons. There's a lot of energy vampires. There's a lot of people that are trying to get you. Just be safe. Stay dangerous, man. Weekly Water episode 1.5. Again, you guys didn't tell me I had shit all over my mouth. What's was it? I gave you all this information and you couldn't even tell me, bro, you got some and you got some you couldn't even tell me that. But it's okay though, because I know what to do now. Just look in the mirror. It's my responsibility. I always have chapstick. But I think I just lick my lips too much. I think it's a nervous thing that I'm just not very conscious of. But yeah, my lips are too big to be crusty and have dead skin all over them. So you guys, please tell me, hey, Aaron Moses, you got shit on your mouth. You got some stuff in your mustache. You can tell me that. It's not gonna distract me. I'm not gonna feel bad about it. You can let me. We're friends, okay? You're my family. You're my love. I love you guys. And you could give me just a little bit of love back. I want you to donate to my charity to get the homeless people off the street, to keep them from scaring all the little kids in front of the library and asking me for cigarettes when I'm just trying to get home, catch the bus. You don't have to do you don't have to do that. I'm still gonna love you, respect you. I know you have a lot of stuff going on. I know it's hard out here for a pimp. I know that. Okay, you don't even have to buy my expensive ass readings. They're not that expensive to me. They're $25 to $75. They're gonna go up a lot very soon. So in February, I advise that you get one as soon as possible because I'm not doing free readings anymore. Not this month, not January. But now you got me now I gotta do all of that. You see that? That's called trauma. Okay, that's called post-traumatic psychic disorder, post-traumatic live disorder. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Carrie and Shimby. Can others use people's? Can others use other people's subconsciously? Well, I just talked about that in my last video. I think it was around 20 minutes. It was talking about how 50 Cent went on the radio and said he signed a deal with Adidas to go for $50 million. And I talked about how I did the same thing. There's also a thing called neuro language programming, NLP. Fairly easy to find information about that. People can use other people by spraying butterfly, freaking flower, mango on them and charging that perfume with all kind of stuff. The subconscious mind is the easiest part of you to actually use in others because it's responsible for 90% of your life and your functions. This is why preachers and church first they talk about death in the beginning and then they make it all happy and they make you listen to all these pretty ass songs and make you feel powerful because that's very purposeful. That activates the left and the right brain. That takes you on an emotional roller coaster to make you want to be a Christian and make you want to be saved. This is why they have infomercials at night when people are sleepy and your mind is the most vulnerable, and why people are going to be drinking and on drugs at night if they're up past a certain time. So my answer is yes. It's fairly easy and it's fairly common. So yeah, Weekly Water 1.5. Go back and watch that Weekly Water 1. Go back and watch that Weekly Water episode 1 because really, Shimby, however you want to interpret that information, that whole video is about what I just talked about, using other people subconsciously. And the first meditation, the second one, the second technique, the second shielding technique, that's using other people's subconscious minds to shield you, actually. If you charge your heart chakra with that trigger word, happy, free, peace, Shiva, whatever it may be, if you use that, charge it, cough, or do the tapping, that's giving people a signal to give their attention to you. So their energy is going to switch automatically because you're putting energy into their subconscious mind by putting that tapping in the back of their mind. And if you get really powerful and you do it enough, they're going to hear that tapping when they were saying whatever they were saying. Because a lot of preachers, I learned that technique about a year ago, but I never used it. But I had to go to chapel every day when I was in the homeless shelter. And a lot of preachers use recycled material. So when they're about to say John 3:16, John 3:16, and you start doing that tapping, they're gonna hear that tapping in the back of their mind. Let's say the next 4 times they start to recite John 3:16, and their energy is gonna lower, and they're not gonna be able to influence people as much as if you would have never done that. So, great question. Thank you for that. How do you stop others from using you subconsciously? Protect yourself and program. Yes, it does. It helps. Shielding doesn't help, then it wouldn't be called shielding. It would be called something else. You just have to, it has to be very powerful. It has to be a lot of intention. It has to be, no shielding is really going to help you if you don't do it more than 3 times in a row. A lot of shields, you have to do them for a week. 2 months of the same shielding, more powerful, can protect you for a year without you even having to do it anymore. So that's not true. You just have to find the right shielding technique for you. That's not true. That's absolutely not true. If that was true, then I'd be dead right now, because a lot of people will like that. But how do you stop using others from using you subconsciously? You have to program yourself, because if you don't program yourself, other people are going to program you for you. Okay? If you don't use you, other people will. They don't have a problem with it. They won't have a problem with it. You have to program you, or other people will do it. That's how you protect yourself subconsciously. Alright, but you got to find the right shielding technique. You have to find the right one. Check out Black Aura 2.0. Definitely recommend it. Definitely, bro. Thank you. Weekly Water, AaroniMoses, episode 1.5. Peace. Oh, watch that first one too, bro. It's fire.